because I'm just trying to get an understanding because I don't really have opinions about any of this stuff simply because I don't follow people. So
Yeah.
I'm having to take before we actually went live, maybe just a few hours before.
Mm-hmm.
Probably you posted that me and you was doing a live, and you did tell me yesterday that you have controversy around you. I didn't specifically ask you what the controversy was,
It
but
literally just started, so I thought that's maybe why you reached out. So because it
oh yeah,
just
no,
started.
no, I didn't reach out for that.
Yeah.
Actually, I reached out because people keep tagging me to
Mm-hmm.
certain things, and the
Yeah.
things that they're tagging me to
Mm-hmm.
are the videos where you are mentioning my name, right? That you're crediting me for a lot of stuff. I hear that you mention my name in a lot of your videos.
Yeah.
So I've been tagged to those videos, and based on those videos, it's it's about how the content that you're doing, that you're not whatever taken from people or whatever. And so everybody's like, oh well, Princella and Flawed Villain should collab, that'll be great, and this, that, and the other one. And based on all of that, it's like you learned a lot of stuff from me, right? So I reached
Well,
out
I have my
because
own
of that.
experience from the strip club, like 10
Yeah.
years of being with men, you know? So, like, when I got onto social media and I started seeing, like, you and Sheer 7, it was kind of like validation for things that I already, like, saw. But then, there was more, like, in-depth analysis from you, right? About male behavior, you know?
Right.
So, it's not like it was just like, oh, you were preaching gospel. Like, I was connecting it to, like, my own story and what I've seen. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm not just, like, taking it for
Right.
words I actually saw.
Right.
So, yeah.
Because here's the thing. The thing about it is this, is that if you're a woman, every woman, if you deal with men, you should have an experience with men, right? You may not have been able to quantify these experiences. You may not have been able to explain these experiences, but you have experiences. And then when somebody like myself comes along to explain them in depth, it would make sense that any woman who gets that information is able to tie it back to their own experiences.
Exactly.
So I don't believe that women just ultimately take things without drawing conclusions from their own experiences. We all have them. You're supposed to be able to do that. So
Right.
if you work
You
in the
should.
club, because my current girlfriend, she used to work in the club too. She's a pole dancer, right? She don't work in the club no more, but she got that experience, right? And it's certain experiences that come with that environment. When you listening to people on TikTok or whatever, you are supposed to be able to draw conclusions or draw parallels to your life experiences. So I reached out to you because of people who kept tagging me to these videos where you are mentioning my name. And you have said several times, oh, I understand why Princella is this. It makes sense, Princella. So I'm like, okay, again, I have not watched all of your content. I have, because I don't follow content creators. I just don't listen to other people because I want to keep my mind clear to come up with my
With
own
your own shit.
stuff. I don't listen to other people. So I reached out because of that, because I've always been open to collaborating with other female content creators. I've always been, but what I found out is that a lot of female content creators do not want to collab.
Yep.
They
Facts.
they don't, and they're very territorial. So I just left that alone. But any woman who is really, I'm willing to talk to people. Okay, I'm always willing to talk to people. So with this, now after you posted that we were going live, people started inboxing me. They started inboxing me,
I knew they
telling
would.
me some details about the controversy that you are in.
Yeah.
So they sent me a couple of videos. Some sent me about some things, like some emojis that were left in the comment section and things like that. And I want to give you an opportunity to explain all of this stuff that's going on. right? And help enlighten me, because at the end of the day, the only thing that I can do is make a judgment based on what you tell me, what these people tell me, and what I have seen with my own eyes based on what they have shown me. So I want to give you an opportunity to kind of explain what the hell is going on here.
Well, for one, the emoji comments you're seeing are literally fake. There's proof on my page. Somebody edited them, and then Cecilia Regina is using them as like real proof in her video to show that I'm racist when it's literally photoshopped. I don't know if she created it. I don't know if somebody else did, but it's legitimately fake. As far as all the other things, again, it's things taken out of context. They tried to say that I'm saying that Rosa Parks and MLK started the race wars, when I was simply saying that they were chosen by the government and by the organizations, the NCAA, paid for by the Rothschilds to be the image for the race war, funded by the Rothschilds. Not saying that the civil rights movement is a bad thing. It's just they took it and they twisted it into me saying that. And that's in the video. It's me just pointing out, like.
Now, I watched that video. I watched that video. So when it comes to judging people and judging situations, I'm very, very fair. Mm-hmm. And I understand how these things go. People twist things that I've said all the time, right? Yeah. And I understand that people do this. So I like to look at things for myself. Mm-hmm. And I saw that video. And I can honestly say that as a person who was pro-black, I came up in the pro-black era. As a matter of fact, I was pro-black before many people jumped on the pro-black bandwagon. When people started getting in the pro-black thing, I was on my way out. So I had a mentor when I was 16 years old. This is long before Facebook decided that they wanted to be the type of platform that they are now, or even back in 2016 and things like that. When I was 16 years old, my mentor was a guy he used to wear these African hats, and he had an ankh ring, and he was doing a lot of politics in the city. Mm. So he is the one that started to teach me about history. He gave me books from Malachi York, 5 Percenters, and things, all of that stuff, right? I learned about religion, a lot of things before Facebook. By the time 2015, 2016 came around, this was the peak of the pro-black movement from millennials. Mm-hmm. By the time that time came around, I was on my way out. At that time, I was calling out people like Umar Johnson. I was calling out Brother Polite. I was calling out Nature Boy. I was really digging in on these people while they were being praised by a bunch of sheep. What I learned about a lot of the pro-black movement is a lot of it was bullshit, okay? COINTELPRO is something I also learned about. I learned also about these puppets that were in the pro-black movement, right? So when I heard your video, one thing that I noted in the video was that you were referencing a book, and you were making commentary on the book and propaganda, and you used MLK and Rosa Parks as examples based on the book. Yeah. Because you are a white woman. Now, I could say that as a black woman, and I have said that in the past. Yeah. Black people have said that in the past. Mm-hmm. Our own people who question people like Martin Luther King. Now, our people know good and goddamn well that Martin Luther King was on some bullshit. They know that.
He was chosen.
They know it. Martin Luther King admitted that he led his own people into a burning building. He admitted that. Martin Luther King was cool with COINTELPRO and all that as long as he was talking about unity and he was dating white women. Black women know good and damn well that Martin Luther King did not fuck with niggas. Martin Luther King had plenty of white girlfriends. And Coretta Scott was she was a mask. We as black people know that if you really do your due diligence. When Martin Luther King switched his message to be in alignment with Malcolm X's message, who they did not like, because Malcolm X was screaming by any means necessary. That's not what Martin Luther King was doing. But when Martin Luther King switched his message to be in alignment with Malcolm X, that's when they took him out.
Exactly.
That's when they took him out. So COINTELPRO was all up in that. Mm-hmm. So, but as a white woman, if you say that, you cannot say that.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to.
You can't, because black people are not going to see it the way that you think they're going to see it.
Yeah.
Okay? So when I listened to that video, I did not hear racism in that video. I heard you referencing a book and speaking about puppets used by the media, which is true. It is true.
Yeah.
But as a white woman, you cannot say things about race, specifically towards black people. Now, as a black person, you got a lot of stuff that Trump is doing right now, and it's a lot of Mexicans that are going through hell. As a black person, I cannot speak on Mexicans, their culture, and the stuff that they do, right? It's just certain things, because people are very sensitive, and you have to understand that people hear things through their own understanding. Yeah. And as white folks, it don't matter what your intention is. It don't matter what you're saying. Because you are white, for sure, if you start talking about race, you trigger people, because humans are not logical creatures. They're emotional. And I'm telling you because women went off on me crazy when I spoke about Sandra Bland. It doesn't matter who you are. If you step on a trigger, ain't nobody hearing you. It doesn't matter how logical you come. Now, plenty of years have passed since Sandra Bland has been gone. The emotions should have settled by now. The fact of the matter is, when they put that stuff out on the television, they clipped it up to paint a narrative of racism. That's what they did. They did not
orchestrated.
They did not show the whole thing, because Prairie View A&M University is a historically black college. It's got a large demographic of black students. The cop that pulled Sandra Bland over was white. And one thing the media left out, because the media is very skilled at stirring the pot. They really are. Now, there are two parts to the Sandra Bland case. There are two sections to the Sandra Bland case. The first section is her traffic stop. The second section is whenever she made it to the jailhouse. Yeah. I have never, ever in my life had any commentary on what happened at the jail. I have never made commentary on anything that took place at the jailhouse. My commentary has always been based on the actual traffic stop. When you get the full footage of Sandra Bland's traffic stop, you will find some very interesting things. But let me tell you, because people are so sensitive around race and those topics, it don't matter what you're saying. If you're not painting people as a victim, if you're not showing quote unquote sympathy, that people think that you should show them, then they ain't hearing nothing you got to say. And hold on just a second. For those of you who are in the comment section, please understand that this is a conversation, it is not a debate. It is not an opportunity to tear somebody down. This is an opportunity to create understanding and camaraderie. That is what this is about. Flawed Villain will have every opportunity to explain and speak. But right now, I'm trying to show her how it doesn't matter what you say and what your intentions are. If you are stepping on people's emotions, they block you out. They're not trying to understand anything. And so I'm trying to show her how a narrative, what's going on with her is the same thing that happened to me. A narrative gets shifted and painted by emotionally driven people who ain't trying to hear nothing you got to say. And they will take a narrative that they created and run with it and slander your name. This is what they will do. It's been done to me a few times. And so now that people are listening, I'm trying to show you how when you actually pull the whole thing together, because people intentionally clip up stuff.
Absolutely.
To try to make it look like you said something. So as I watched, somebody tagged me to one of those mashup videos. Now, one person sent me a mashup video. This mashup video was different than the one people tagged me to. The one that people tagged me to, I noticed that they intentionally clipped up the video that we talking about right now, where you were talking about where you used Malcolm X and Rosa Parks as an example to show propaganda. They intentionally clipped that up to make it look like you were saying something that you weren't. Because I watched the whole video and then I watched the clip that people intentionally tried to paint a narrative. I saw that. So I'm very fair in my judgment of people and things. I'm not emotionally driven, and you can't trigger me emotionally to lean to one side or another, right? So I like to look at things for myself, and then I formulate conclusions based on that. With the Sandra Bland video, there was a video that the police officers, that the media intentionally left out of the public. They intentionally left this out.
Of course.
And they only clipped up the portion where the cop and her was actually getting into it. The clip that they left out was like a 4-minute clip from the police officer's dash cam. The cop pulled over another black girl before he pulled over Sandra Bland. And that traffic stop, that girl didn't even have no license or insurance. She had no insurance and she had no license, and she was a black girl. That cop gave that girl a warning. He gave her a warning. Right after he gave that girl a warning and she drove off, that's when Sandra Bland she ran the stop sign, and then she drove, and then she switched lanes without a signal. He pulls up behind her. He was going to give her a warning too. He was about to give her a warning too. But Sandra Bland had a series of videos prior to that where she wanted to be a vigilante. She wanted to be a vigilante. And so she was always following these cop killings like Tamir Rice and all of that. And she was building up an online persona that she would handle the police differently. She wanted to be a vigilante. When she got pulled over by this cop, all that energy that she had built up prior to that by following all of these cop killings and stuff, she took it as an opportunity to show the cop that she wasn't going to back down. That's what she did. The cop was very polite to her. He was very, very, very polite to her. And she was being extremely disrespectful. I mean, extremely. Until she pushed the cop to ask her to get out the car.
Interesting.
When that happened, you want to know what Sandra Bland told that cop? She said, let's do this. She said, let's do this. Sandra Bland was trying to get into it with the cop. The cop had to wrote her a fucking warning. Sandra Bland would not have ever gone, she would have never been arrested. She would have never gone to the jailhouse. Ever. Because he had to wrote her a warning. Hold on, let me say this. Listen to me. This is the type of stuff that y'all don't like. Y'all come here because you a fan of one person. You're not here to hear a conversation between her. You're here to hear Flawed Villain talk. And if all you want to hear is Flawed Villain speak, and Flawed Villain don't have no problem with me talking to her and explaining to her what I'm explaining to her, because it's a lot of y'all that's slandering her name and doing whatever you doing and didn't want to hear her say shit. You didn't want to hear her say nothing when y'all was out here telling her that she racist and all that. You didn't give a damn what she had to say. Now that she on my page, you want me to shut the fuck up and just let her talk. I'm talking to her. And I'm explaining something to her. And when I'm done explaining to her, then she will have the opportunity to talk back to me. Because y'all don't give a fuck about what people think when you want to bully them. Now, I don't know Flawed Villain. So because I have no preconceived thoughts, I can talk to her with grace. I can be fair in this conversation. You just want me to shut the fuck up because some of you don't like me and some of you don't like her. What you want to hear is some bullshit, and I'm not here to give you no bullshit. I'm here to have a conversation with her that you all are allowed to watch. Now, I understand what you're going through, because when I put that information out about Sandra Bland, everybody slandered my name too. The narrative that went around was Princella blamed Sandra Bland for getting killed. No, I said Sandra Bland was responsible for getting herself arrested. Sandra Bland didn't have to be arrested, but Sandra Bland wanted to be a goddamn vigilante, and she wanted smoke with the cop. She was egging the cop on, and she told the cop, come on, let's do this. While the cop was trying to be civil with her. And he wrote her a warning. Like he wrote the other black girl. Now that I've said that, what is your feedback?
I didn't know about all those details, but I also know that anything that's in the media and that is pushed to like these bigger causes is always, it's creating a narrative to control people emotionally. And I know that. I have like discernment about that. When all these things happen, I'm like, wait, so what are the actual details? But again, it's kind of like the clips are being made of me. Same thing with all these situations, like Sandra Bland. It's always smaller clips are shared, then everyone, lose their minds, and then it just gets too big before like the facts can come out, and then everyone's already fucking tweaking, So same with what's happening with me. Like there was not even a chance for me to say anything. It was just like racist, white supremacist, da da da. So
let me ask you this question. So I understand the clip about propaganda, COINTELPRO, and puppets. Mm-hmm. Now that could have been taken out of context, but now we have to speak about being a Trump supporter. Mm-hmm. This is where even if you explain away this first clip, We now have to understand the support behind Trump, because Trump is really destroying the lives of a lot of people. And Trump is definitely a full-blown racist. And now let me say this. I teach my people all the time that you are what you attracted to. You are what you support. So people get it misconstrued all the time that, oh, you are what you attract. No, you are what you support, and you are what you attracted to. We all know that Trump is a full-blown racist. He and Elon, and how they are treating black and brown people and immigrants is unjust. And I want to hear from you your political views, and what is it about Trump that you actually support?
Well, it's not specifically him. I just understand like the world stage as a whole. And I just don't like identity politics that the left always does. And on top of that, the right is also they're also not for me. But I know on a world stage, the planet hates women, you know, every big country, China, North Korea, Russia, they all hate women. So to see people just kind of jump on, let's vote for a woman, that doesn't fit with me, because I kind of also see like, yes, Trump is a racist, like you're saying all these things, but on a bigger world stage, I also understand that the world would not respect a woman in office here. It would be a danger to the world stage. And it's not just about politics here. It's about the world, right? That's how I see it.
Did you vote for Trump?
Do you want my answer?
Yes.
I voted for him one time.
Which time?
This last time.
So the last time, which is now,
Yeah.
which is what he is doing now. You want to know who I voted for? Nobody.
Valid.
Because here's the thing. When you stand on truth, and if you understand that this is a world stage, and if you understand that both parties are two heads of the same coin,
Fact.
it would make no sense to vote for somebody that we know is a sexist, a grapist, and a rapist, regardless of what you think is logical. Because what is more logical is to not have a dog in the fight.
Yeah, I mean, even if I didn't vote, then I would still be attacked, you know? And I've even voted Green Party and I got attacked. So no matter what I say.
But here's the thing. You're voting for the person that's talking, right? Because let me tell you something. People cannot separate themselves from themselves. They can't separate their business from who they are. They can't separate that. And all of the things that Trump was letting people know that he was going to do in Project 2025, that is not something that people should have rallied for, right? Both parties are going to put people in chokeholds. But the mere fact that people are saying they wasn't going to vote for no woman, so I didn't vote for the woman. That's not a legitimate or valid reason to not vote for the woman if you're going to vote. Because we're voting based on policy and based on who's up there running. Trump has shown the world that he don't give a fuck. He has shown the world. Now, Hillary Clinton was behind Bill Clinton's success. Bill Clinton would not have been nearly as successful without Hillary Clinton. She was running a lot of that stuff. When it was her turn to run, people still voted against, even though she was behind Bill. there's not really a legitimate reason to vote for somebody who shows you he don't care about ethics. He does not care about image. He did not care about how the people thought, because it was so unscrupulous. It was so immature how Trump ran in the first election. And the fact that people voted for that shows you the mentality of the people. And if you voted for that, seeing the character that Trump has, it is not illogical that people would question your integrity. It is not illogical that the people who watch you would question your integrity. Because if it weren't for the Trump thing and you pushing the fact that illegals should be arrested and captured, if it wasn't for that, maybe the first part of this could be logically and rationally explained away, and people would probably have more grace. Okay, maybe I misperceived that. But with this is a little bit harder, because you're voting for people based on their character. You're voting for people based on how they really present themselves. And I would really, really like to hear from you, because I'm not here to make you feel bad. I'm really here to understand, because I don't know. I'm really here to understand what's going on, since people have made me aware that there's something going on. What is it about Trump specifically? See, now we got to get outside of the politics, because Trump let it be known, ladies, we're going to take your rights away. We didn't overturn Roe versus Wade, and we finna go even further. Like, he let it be known. All the shit that's happening, he said, this what I'm doing. So this, if you truly are against the patriarchy, if you truly are for women's empowerment, there would be no way on God's green earth that you would vote for somebody who is rallying to take your rights away if we vote no policy. If we vote no policy. So now we know we're not voting on policy, because that policy would have told you, I ain't fucking with this. So now we have to ask, what is it about Trump that you like, that aligned you to vote for him?
I think there's a lot of reasons for it. Again, politics, they like to paint a narrative for both sides. So I understand, your feelings about Trump, but with, women's rights and Roe v. Wade, it just frustrates me that every 4 years we're talking about this shit. And from what I understand about Roe v. Wade, they wanted to remove it from the federal government to state government and then give us all choice, from what I understand, right? So then that the states could vote on it. So even red states have been able to vote on pro-abortion, right? Because otherwise, every 4 years we're running on Roe v. Wade, is what I've noticed up until this point. So, because they like to use women's bodies in politics constantly. And without.
See, what you have to understand is that when you get certain things have to be federal laws. You do not want to give states discretion on whether they're going to do certain things or not. Certain things you want to be federally imposed. The idea that we are going to override the Constitution, because this is a person who showed you that he don't give two damns about the Constitution. To vote for something that is starting to erode In the federal declaration, it's showing you that once it gets to a state level, states like to compete with each other. And if one state can get something passed, other states are going to follow. And you don't want to give certain things to the state that you want to hold federally. So when it comes, the fact of the matter is, every 4 years, this ain't nothing new. Every 4 years, you got to have an overturn. And voting for somebody who is telling you that they're going to take your rights away, being tired of having had this discussion every 4 years is still not a legitimate reason to vote for somebody who is letting you know we finna erode every fabric of your rights. I want people to know that as of now, because of what Trump is doing, they are pushing more and more laws to force women into marriage where they're not even going to give you medical care if you're not married. Trump let it be known that he was taking this thing back to 1920. A woman who is against the patriarchy would see that and not play into that. There is no justification for being a women's empowerment, decenter man content creator and then vote in direct opposition of that message that literally takes the rights away from women to send them back into times where men could break their jaws, get them pregnant, break their ribs, and the police don't do nothing about it. Because back in 1973, it was still legal to beat your wife and kill her, and no cop would do anything about it. It wasn't until 1993 that it became illegal to beat your wife. It wasn't until President Clinton was in office that was overturned. Your vote for a person who gets up there to let you know that he's a sexist, a racist, and he is in direct opposition of the Constitution. As a content creator who speaks about decentering men, there is no justification to vote for that man. And I don't think that there's anything that you could actually say to the audience that will convince them otherwise. Now, the first part was easy to explain away because I saw that with my own eyes. I saw how they flipped the narrative. I saw what you were actually doing in that video. But for this right here, it's really difficult to justify why you would vote for Trump. Because Trump has never hidden. He has never, ever hidden his dislike for women.
I can understand that. I can also understand that all women that were being selected for the Democrat Party also aren't for women. That's what I also understand. You have to have internalized misogyny and hate women to even be a part of the political game. So why, my thing is this, like I say, if you're saying that both parties are the same, one of them is overt, which is Trump. The other is covert, because the majority of people don't see it that way. But they do see it that way with Trump. Now, as a person who may align with the idea of independent thinking, right? As an independent thinker, if we know that both parties are two sides of the same coin, an independent thinker would more align themselves with the independent party. But you did not align yourself with an independent party. You align yourself with a bipartisan system. And the logic is, well,
They ain't for women. They ain't for women either, but I'm gonna vote for the person that shows us covertly he ain't for women. That is definitely finna take our rights away and allow us, listen, allow us to be brain dead and force us to carry a baby to term. We gonna vote for a person that would do that. And then
You're saying Trump said that?
that's what his policies have allowed. So yes, he did say it. His policies show you. So we have to be honest that here's the thing.
I've heard otherwise. So, but I hear you. I've just heard otherwise about his stance on abortion.
What is his stance on abortion?
If it's like grape, if it's up to a certain point, I think that he just wanted to make it up to a certain point. But he wasn't anti-abortion.
So why are the policies showing otherwise?
Which policies?
Abortion policies.
Well, yeah. Which policy, word for word?
No, his policies are the ones that are forcing a brain dead person to birth a child. The policies are evident in the things that are being carried out. So if Trump is not for this, why has Trump not intervened and stopped this from happening?
I can understand that question, but wouldn't that make him like a dictator if he gets involved in every little thing?
Well, guess what? He got ICE coming in, arresting people and trying to deport citizens. He is a dictator. Everything he's doing is a dictatorship. So it's okay that he's going to be a dictator for negative, but he's not going to be a dictator for something that's righteous and positive, like intervening to stop somebody from birthing a child that's brain dead.
But you do agree that he's not the source of, all of this deportation. Like every other president has also deported many people. So it's not like he's the only one.
Oh, it doesn't matter if he's the only one. He's the source of what's going on right now to the extremes, right? See, because he's deporting people who are going to court to do exactly what they're doing and taking these people and arresting them while their kids still in school. This man has not given people any dignity. Now, I want you to understand, I did not bring you here. I promise to God, I did not bring you here to make you look bad or anything, because I swear to God, sweetie, I don't know you or your content. I've never watched it. I don't have any feelings either way or another one. But what I'm telling you right now is that you are making this worse. You are making this worse by your responses to these questions about the inhumane treatment of these people.
I never supported any of this, though. What's happening with ICE? I never supported that.
But your answers are bordering the line of deflection and justification. Instead of saying, this could have really been over by you saying, I think I might have been tricked, brainwashed. I thought one way, and I think I just made a major mistake for voting for this guy. I didn't expect him to actually be this ruthless. But that's not what you're saying.
We never got to that point. You never asked me how I feel about all these things now. Like, I see a bigger picture, obviously, but I'm not supporting what ICE is doing. Like, that's kind of just jumping to conclusions.
The thing is what Trump is doing is unconstitutional. It's inhumane, and it's in direct opposition of the message that you say you stand for.
Sure. But what about the administration before that was for bringing people through the border all willy-nilly? I feel like that was just kind of a setup for all of this.
Well, see, that's what I'm telling you. When I ask you, who do you think I voted for? I just told you neither party, because I'm aware that both parties are full of it.
And I get that.
Yeah. So I understand that. Oh, she on one? But I forgot she left the house. Yeah. So What I'm saying is this. If we know that we don't have, that neither party is truly in alignment with righteousness. We know this. This ain't even, because at the end of the day, the United States is a corporate entity. This is a business that has lobbyists that are able to pay to push certain laws. So, and they do this to both parties. So neither party actually has the people's interest at the forefront. They have corporate interests at the forefront. We know this. So any person who speaks to be an independent thinker, who speaks to be actually for the people, would not actually align themselves with either party. No matter how they try to slice it and dice it, that they for policy. Because if that's the logic that we gonna roll with, we're about to end up going in circles. Because the question is always gonna come back to, if you know that both parties are not for the people, why would you still vote for somebody who is overtly racist, sexist, and greedy, in alignment with oligarchy as opposed to the people? Why not vote independent?
I mean, I have voted independent when it was Hillary and Trump. So
why vote for Trump now? Why not maintain your independent vote?
I mean, that's a valid point. I should have just done that, I guess.
But no, you didn't do it for a reason, right? There was a reason that you didn't do it. Because it makes no sense. That's what I'm saying. It makes zero sense.
To me, it makes sense on a world stage of having a woman in office when the world does not like women. That's how I see it.
No, I get it. I get it. Okay? But it does not matter if the world don't like women. You as a person are speaking for women. Trump is against women. So it don't matter who liked the president. It matters who is actually impacting you as a woman. Now, as a white woman, I need you to understand that white folks don't like us as black folks. Margaret Sanger basically created Planned Parenthood to get rid of the weeds of niggas.
That's facts.
Okay, so they don't really give a fuck about us aborting.
Well, right. But then also on the left, everyone is pro Planned Parenthood, and she's part of that. So it's like, it's kind of just this back and forth thing with these things.
No, what I'm saying, I'm trying to paint a point to you. Mm-hmm. As black folks, they don't give a damn about us aborting. Okay? Because they don't want a lot of us here anyway. The abortion bans affect you white women far more.
But wouldn't the solution to that be not having sex?
Yeah, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about politics, right?
Because, you know, like accountability, personal responsibility.
Well, yeah, but that's all I talk about, because I don't talk about politics on my page. I always talk about women's accountability, but that's not what we're talking about here. What I'm saying, as a white woman, you as a white woman who is speaking about decentering men, I need you to understand that the abortion bans are not directed toward black folks, because they wanted us to get abortions. That's the reason why they put Planned Parenthood in the damn hood. They wanted black folks to get abortions. You as a white woman who are speaking about decentering men, you voted for a guy who is actually targeting these abortion bans at white women. This really impacts y'all more, because what they want is to get y'all's numbers up. So even if black people are upset with you and your content. The reality is the white women who actually want to decenter men and didn't vote for Trump, they actually would probably be more mad at you for voting for Trump because those laws are directed at y'all. So I'm questioning, why would you as a white woman vote against your own safety and your own interests because those laws are directed at you?
Because Trump was never against abortion.
If that was the case, since he's acting like a dictator, then he would have overturned Roe versus Wade and sent it back in the direction that it was.
Right, but then why didn't Biden do something about it
But
before?
we're not talking about Biden. We're talking about Trump, because you say Trump ain't for abortion. If he didn't have a problem with abortion, then Trump would stop this madness that's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
He would. And so the reality is this, right? I wanted to give you an opportunity because, like I said, I heard about the drama at the very last minute, just a couple hours before me and you went live. And so I wanted to give you an opportunity to clear your name and explain to people while they're actually listening, because people weren't listening to you. Once they created or formulated an opinion about you, they didn't want to hear shit you had to say. They didn't. And I wanted to give you an opportunity to actually to tell people your true intentions and where you really stand, because they weren't hearing you. I think we were able to clear up that first one. But this one, because a lot of people in the comments, they really pushing this Trump thing. They really pushing that you a Trump supporter. And so I had to give you an opportunity to address that, because that's what they was throwing in the comments. Mm-hmm. So I'm here to be a facilitator. I'm here to get some understanding from you, and I'm here to allow you to speak to people who have shut their ears off and who have been offended. But I think that the more you address this particular issue, the worse it gets when it comes to aligning with Trump. Because a lot of people are being hurt behind what he's doing. So many people losing their jobs. So many people can't take care of themselves. It's people dying. Now people are about to be forced to be married just to get medical care. Right? And all of this was stated in Project 2025. And a lot of people who voted for Kamala, a lot of people who voted for Kamala and who actually read and followed Project 2025, a lot of them are upset because they felt like their voices were not being heard as they were shouting to the rooftops about what Trump was going to do. Now, I don't know if you saw this. I don't know if you saw this. But I saw a video that is trending on TikTok right now. I saw it maybe about 5 days ago. And what they did, it was like a candid camera type of thing. And they took an AI voice that sounded like Trump talking. And they played it for a bunch of Trump supporters. And the AI voice was saying some real wild stuff. Like, oh, I'm going to get a paternity test for my daughter because, if she been free game this whole time, then, I done missed my opportunity, stuff like that. Now, the things that he was saying, the Trump supporters, you could see them squirming because you could see it was uncomfortable. But when they were asked what they think about him, all of them justified the stuff that he was saying. Every last one of them. No matter how bad the stuff Trump was saying on that tape, the Trump supporters found a way to justify it. The reason why I'm saying that this particular question, as you're addressing it, is making this thing worse, because in reality, what you're doing sounds very much like those Trump supporters ignoring or justifying everything that Trump's doing. And they don't want to back down and just say, I fucked up. I fucked up. I mean, I fucked up and voted for some
I can say I fucked up, absolutely, but we're not even getting. I could say I fucked up, but we're not even getting to that point. It's just.
Well, go ahead. What I want you to do is I want you to be able to just express your full, what do you think about the whole thing? The whole thing. Do you think you made an error? Why do you think you made an error? Like, just talk to them.
Do I really think my vote counted? No, I think he was going to be put in there anyways. So that's my biggest opinion as well. And my stance is on abortion. He's pro-choice, from what I understand. What's going on with ICE? Horrible. But I'm being, yeah. I mean, that's fine. Okay, I'm the bad guy.
I don't think you're the bad guy. I don't think you're the bad guy. Like I say, I wouldn't too much worry about the people in the comment section. Like I say, for me, I was just more so trying to give you an opportunity to clear up these things, because as a person who's been slandered, listen to me, as a person who's been slandered, as a person who's been lied on, as a person whose words have been taken out of context and narratives being painted, I don't believe that should happen to anybody. Right? I don't believe that should happen to anybody. And based on it, because here's the thing. When you saying what people want to hear, everybody loves you. The moment you say something that people don't like or they misconstrue, they will hate you for eternity. And I know how that is. And I wanted to give you an opportunity where I'm listening to you, somebody that actually understands each side of the equation. I wanted to give you an opportunity to speak to somebody that was actually going to listen to you and hear where you coming from, because everybody else don't care. Once you offend them, they don't give a fuck what you say.
Exactly. So it's like, what?
So that's why I'm saying, don't worry about the comments, because you're talking to me. You're not talking to them. They're just listening to a conversation that me and you are having. We're not actually talking to them. Me and you are talking, right? And they are listening to me talking to you and you talking to me, right? What I'm saying is that the people want to hear, they do want to hear your explanation. And I wanted to hear your explanation. If your intent was to clear your name, all I'm saying is that the answer, some people, no matter what you say, they gonna love you. I want you to understand. No matter what people say about you, no matter what you say, you're going to have people that are going to love you anyway. They gonna still fuck with you. And then there are people that once you offend them, they'll never listen to you again, and they don't give a fuck what you say.
Okay.
So what I'm saying to you is that with the explanation of what it is you are saying, the people who may have been open to hearing your explanation, they may not be satisfied with the way you have answered this question about Trump, given the fact that there are so many people that are suffering behind him being in office. Now, a lot of people saying I'm being too nice. I'm gonna tell you, I think people think I'm an evil person. I do think people think that I just don't have no decorum and I'm just reckless. I don't think people think I actually really have people skills. I don't think people understand that there's a time and a place for how you deal with people and how you address people. A lot of people are here because they want to see an argument. A lot of people want to see a black woman check you and put you. But here's the thing: I don't know your content. I don't know you, sweetheart. I don't have any preconceived notions about you. So I didn't bring you here so that I can blast onto the world. Watch me handle Flawed villain. I didn't bring you here for that. So I think a lot of people are like, oh, she's being too nice. She let her. No, I'm here to actually get an understanding, right? I'm here to get. Everybody thinks that I'm over talking you, not allowing you to talk.
I'm listening, but if I do that too, that's wrong.
Yeah. Because a lot of people, you can't. I want you to understand, you can't please people. A lot of people are here. I've given you an opportunity to talk, and you're giving me short answers. You're giving me short answers,
Right.
and that's just the way you're talking.
We're just talking about a couple of points, abortion and ICE. So I gave my answers to that.
Right. So it's like they want me to shut up. Like every time I give you an opportunity to speak, you say, I'm not even cutting you off. Once you're done talking, then I pick it back up. For some reason, they think that I'm not allowing you to talk at all, even though you keep answering these questions. And you're saying, so I'm trying to figure out what it is they want you to say and how long they want you to talk. So what I'm going to do, Flawed Villain, I'm going to give you 4 minutes to say anything you want to say, because for some reason they think I'm not letting you talk. So whatever you want to address, I don't care what it is, just say it.
Well, I don't know what else to address. I addressed the ICE, I addressed abortion, I addressed that we're on a world stage and that a woman in office is not a smart decision for the global board game. Those are kind of my like basic answers. I don't really know what else I should answer.
I mean, I'm clearly not letting you talk. So if you don't got nothing else to say about that, then just talk. I mean, sing a song if you want to, because clearly I'm just being a fucking dictator that just keep going on and on. I actually am saying things. You keep letting them know you don't really have nothing else to say, but clearly they not hearing that. So if you want to sing a song, if you want to talk about dissenter men, whatever the hell you want to talk about, take up 4 minutes so they can stop saying, Princella, let her talk. I'm trying to let you talk. You got real short answers. I don't know what else they want you to say, but just talk. Anything. Say anything. So they can stop.
I have an understanding of what I'm saying. I shouldn't have to draw out my answer to explain something that I believe in and what I stand for. We are on a world stage and all the superpowers of the world are men. Okay, we are in a war game. Simply putting a woman in office in America isn't going to solve anything for us. And voting on identity politics isn't going to solve anything either, logically, right? People are coming at me about the border and this, that, and the third. But in reality, if we had no borders, then it would be even less safe for women. So I think everybody wants me to have a black and white answer to all these things, but I don't, because I understand the world as a whole from every angle. And it's not just put this person in office and it's going to solve everything. The person that's put in office is already chosen. I don't really know if my vote even counted in a blue state. If I'm really fucking being honest, I think they burned my fucking votes, if we're being completely fucking honest. But
talk about intersectionality. I saw somebody say that. So
what about it?
I get. Are you inclusive of, you know, all women in the
in what I'm creating?
Huh?
In what I'm creating?
Yeah, I mean, address. Yeah,
I want women from everywhere, every race, every gender, every color, every country. Like that was my goal.
Keep talking. You still got 2 minutes. Keep talking, because see, here's the thing. A lot of y'all came in here because we started right at 3 o'clock. So we've been going for an hour and 15 minutes. a lot of y'all are asking questions that we already talked about. So y'all talk about the the Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks thing. We actually already addressed that. So for those of you all who think that I'm not letting her talk, we actually already addressed that. Because we've been on for an hour and 15 minutes. So if you don't mind, since those people who are late, could you repeat your stance on the video where you spoke about Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks?
Martin Luther King was selected to be a face for the civil rights movement because Malcolm X was too loud and strong with his opinions and he couldn't be controlled. Rosa Parks was also selected by the NCAAP to be an actor on the bus. So in that video, I was saying she had a car because it's facts. She was selected. She was an actor for the cause. That doesn't mean I'm against civil rights. It's just I understand that the world is a stage.
So what a lot of people don't know about Rosa Parks is that there was another woman that did that before Rosa Parks.
From my understanding, that girl, she was 16 years old and pregnant. So it didn't fit the narrative.
Right. It was Claudette Colvin. Claudette Colvin actually was before Rosa Parks. So why didn't they focus on Claudette Colvin? So the facts are the same. And so we've already addressed this part of this discussion, that particular video was taken out of context, right? And as a white woman, you're not supposed to talk nothing about black folks because that's just not your lane. Anything you say about black folks, it don't matter what the hell you saying. You finna trigger them, period. But that part, the Malcolm X, COINTELPRO, that part has already been discussed, and it's really not much to discuss there. The problem now is that, okay, once you explain that away, now we have to focus on the Trump thing, because it's the Trump thing that actually combines with those two things that make this whole thing seem very racist.
Well, is it the clip that someone was saying that I called him the orange man? Is that the Trump thing?
Well, that was one clip, but no, the other clip was specifically about, one clip was about Doge, and then the next clip was about agreeing that quote unquote illegal aliens or undocumented people need to be arrested.
Okay, but I'm saying directly, I was speaking about Trump in that one video where I said the orange man.
Yeah, I believe, like I say, this mashup was a clip up. Now, if you want, I can actually play the clips, the mashup, so that everybody can hear it and we can address each one of those. If you want, I think we should do that. So that way we know what we're talking about.
I mean, the mashup, sure. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. All right. I think this is one. Okay. So this is a mashup. Give me a second. Let me turn this up.
For legalizing propaganda. That rage they have against illegals should not be allowed at the border. And also thank Obama for legalizing propaganda.
Let's start there. Did Obama legalize propaganda? Yes, he did. I forget what the act was, but it was in like 2008. He legalized the distribution of more propaganda because it was some shit about free speech, but really it was so that anyone could say anything, even if it was complete misinformation and propaganda.
Mm-hmm. Now that was a clip, and we're not talking about those clips because as you can clearly see, as quick as these clips are going by, you can see that they obviously cut out. You can see that they obviously cut out context or
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
That's
So
the thing. They
so
put
that's
that
not,
in there. I'm saying to add to the racism, so I'm going to point that
yeah.
out. That's a fact.
Yeah. So what we can do, this particular mashup is about 1 minute and 9 seconds long. So whichever, we'll listen to it all the way through without interruption, and then we'll come back and address each one of these clips. All right? Excuse me.
Illegals should not be allowed at the border. And also thank Obama for legalizing propaganda. That rage they have against the orange man. They're like, I don't care. Tax the 80% as long as he's not in there. People are just so okay though, as long as the guy that they didn't vote for looks bad. Like, I really can't stand y'all sometimes. Rosa Parks was one of those people that was kind of a big image for like the race wars. Same with Martin Luther King. It's never been a race issue, okay? It's a patriarchy issue. Because it was actually never created by white men either. So what does that say? The men are always the problem? But OF and corn are like the worst thing that women can do. I wasn't at the strip club working to feel empowered. I was there for money. If content creation does not work out, I will be looking for another rich man. They want to settle for that weird shit, but if I have to, I absolutely have to. I'm like, this is all or nothing right now. This is plan A and that shit's plan B. Because I'll be damned. They not like us. No, they not.
Okay? All right. So those are the mashups. Now, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to address each one of them clips. All right?
There's laws. There's laws in place on borders there's reasons why we have borders in every country. Otherwise, every country would not be a country. Mm-hmm. So allowing anyone and everyone just to freely travel is dangerous. You just never fucking know. I made a video about this and I mentioned the Bosnian War, the Yugoslavian War, etc. That's where I'm from, fun fact. But there's a group called the Chetniks and they were working with the Nazis and in Bosnia with the genocide. And they were able to somehow make it here because this was before 2001, before there was more travel restrictions because of Bush. So they were able to make it here. I think probably change their names as complete like war criminals. Mm-hmm. And, you know, they were taken in out of love and kindness, but that shouldn't ever be the case with people coming into any country. In all the countries that everybody dick rides for, they have some of the strictest border laws. Mm-hmm. So all the Nordic countries, right? But here there's an issue if we have strict border patrol, and obviously women and children I think should get more of a pass, children especially, but at the same time there are also women who are hired from other countries to traffic as well. So it's also about human trafficking. So those are just my stances on the border. I don't think that we should just have an open border. That's ridiculous.
I agree with that because I want you to go for each one of these, right? Now I agree with that. Now, anybody who think that you should have open borders is also a person that believes in unconditional love. This is how women get played. Yeah. This is how women get played. Because I want you to understand that land is feminine. Land is feminine. The motherland, like Africa, right? The motherland. All land is feminine. If you don't have borders or boundaries, let's put it like that. If you don't have boundaries, you could just let anybody come in and just take what they want out your garden. Y'all have fences around y'all doggone yard.
And everyone locks their doors at night.
Right. So in that context, yeah, you gotta have borders. Everybody gotta have borders. But I'm wondering if the conversation about or the comment about borders is actually, are people looking at that as you agreeing with people who actually been here that might have been born to parents who are undocumented? Do you agree that they should be deported along with their parents? I think all of that may be getting mixed up in that. So what are your you need to kind of explain in totality what you mean. Who do you think is free game to be sent there? Who do you think is free game to be arrested? Like, because when you say that, I think the public, based on what they're seeing, I think their opinions are based on what they see ICE doing. And
Which is not the current conversation. So that's kind of why that clip is also very emotionally triggering for people, because of the current things that are happening. They're going to take that for that. Even though that video was not made recently about any of that. It was made about a girl named Laken Riley who was murdered by a man. And it's not, and people are again taking that from like, there's violent men here. Yes, I talk about violent men here. That's my whole page, you know? There's violent men everywhere. So that's kind of my point. It's not saying that violent men are the only ones that are coming here, but I am just saying like, we can't just trust men all of a sudden just because you think that they need a place to go. I thought it was like, fuck all men. I thought all men were dangerous. We can't just be like naive all of a sudden.
Well, what I'll say this, what you'll learn is that the more you dig into it, the more you see that women are very male centered, because males come from the wombs of females. So a lot of women have sons. So when a lot of these women are talking about dudes they fucking, and that dudes that did them wrong. They not talking about their sons, even though every woman, every man that you deal with is somebody's son. So all women actually think the same about men. They talk about other men. They not talking about their sons, which means that no woman wants to actually decenter men, because all of these boys got mamas. All these women have sons. So
yeah, that's what I'm seeing with all this as well, because you can't just talk about decentering men and this, that, and the third about men, and then all of a sudden, because of politics, you decide to change your views.
Right. So when you start talking about men, I need you to understand, when you're talking about men in terms of decentering men for relationships, most women are thinking about sex and relationships. When you start saying this, they start thinking about their sons. They start thinking about their uncles. They start thinking about their friends, right? So now that whole conversation shift. So a lot of these women are thinking in that light. They thinking in that light, right? So when you're dealing with the public, I got you. It don't matter what your intentions are. You can say something purely intentional with context and all that behind it. The more you talk, the most stuff can be taken and flipped. That's why a lot of people who are wise say very few words. They say very little, right?
Right. And I was attacked for not saying anything.
Listen, in life, you damned if you do and you damned if you don't. All right? And you'll learn that. You damned if you do and you damned if you don't. And that's why I always tell people, if that's the case, just don't. If that's the case, then just don't. Okay? Because you're going to get grilled either motherfucking way. People going to talk about you either way. It doesn't matter. And people is, if you trigger an emotion in somebody, that emotion is the only thing that matters.
Well, people are too emotional.
Right? It is what it is. Right? So I want to let you continue to, address these clips, right? And say your piece about it. Right?
A lot of the reporters can also thank Obama for legalizing propaganda. That rage they have against the orange man.
Now, I don't understand this clip, because obviously it's got more context behind it to be able to. I don't know what this clip is.
The orange man one?
Yeah, the orange man. Explain this one.
I was just saying how I was seeing comments about people. It was something about taxes, and people were saying that I don't care, just raise the taxes. I'm not voting for Trump. And I was like, so y'all would rather be fucking poor and pay higher taxes just because you don't want to vote for Trump? Like, it's just, that was my stance on it.
Okay.
There was, I don't know, there was something going on where I was seeing like people commenting about this, and they were just like, I don't give a fuck, I'm going to vote for him. Raise the taxes. And I was like, what the fuck? Because I think taxation is theft. As a dancer, it's fucking theft. That's how I see it. So.
Well, it is. And if people are being honest, a lot of people broke and struggling, and they still got to pay taxes on stuff. So most people would agree with that, right? Most people would agree. I mean, Aaron Russo was unalive for telling people about taxes, right? And telling people the real game about this. Because, you know, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. If people want to hate you, ain't nothing you gonna say they're gonna make them not hate.
Honestly, I don't care at this point. Like, we're already on here. I'm having fun with this conversation.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, listen, let me tell you, when my ex-girlfriend did the shit that she did, my ex-girlfriend was not in the right at all. She was not. But do you think people even gave a fuck about my side? No, they did not. They didn't give a shit. As a matter of fact, they told me, don't defend yourself. Just let her do the shit that she doing. Let her say whatever she's saying. Let her get your child taken away. You don't do shit. That's what people like, for people to get bullied. They like to see, and they don't want you to defend yourself. They don't.
Oh, yep.
Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is this. If people gonna like you, they gonna like you. If they gonna hate you, they gonna hate you. And it ain't nothing you gonna be able to do about that. Right? I think people, you know what? A lot of people just do not understand how to have a conversation. They don't know how to draw parallels. They don't know how to give examples. They don't know how to relate to people.
Yeah.
They don't, because they sit up here, Princella, stop talking. It's about Flawed Villain. I'm having a conversation in relation to Flawed Villain, showing her I understand her position. And I'm trying to convey to her, as a person who has gone through the same thing she gone through, it ain't nothing you gonna do to change their mind. Why are y'all like this? Like, why are you here if you don't actually want to hear an authentic conversation? Why are you on my page if you don't want to hear me fucking talking? That's what I'm trying to figure. Why are you here listening to Flawed Villain on Princella's channel if you don't want to hear me talking? Why I can't say shit on my own damn channel? I'm trying to understand that. Because y'all really don't give a damn about this situation at all anyway.
No.
You don't really care. You want her to either apologize, you want her to explain to you until she convinced. I don't know what y'all want, but I'm not here to grill somebody. I'm actually here to have a conversation and to seek understanding. That's what I'm here for. I'm a very diplomatic person. And like I said a million times, I don't know Flawed Villain. I ain't watched none of her content. I only found out about her a week ago. And the only reason why we actually having this conversation right now is because a few hours before we went live, I had people sending me inboxes telling me not to go live with her, telling me that she against women, she a grifter, and all this. You know how many of y'all call me a grifter? You know how many women call me a grifter? Simply because I'm telling women that they responsible? You call me one too. Because you didn't like me holding you accountable for your choices and decisions. So as a person who's gone through the same thing that Flawed Villain is sitting up here going through, I'm having a conversation with her based on understanding. Not based on me being a vigilante for y'all because you mad And you want to see somebody who got a name tear somebody else down. That ain't what I'm here for. I'm not here to tear nobody down. I'm here to get an understanding. I'm here to get an understanding since everybody sent me all these damn videos telling me not to go live with her. That's all I'm doing. I'm not here to be a bully. I am not a bully. So stop telling me not to talk on my own damn channel. Stop telling me to shut up. Because Flawed villain getting every opportunity to talk. And the reality is, she really don't even want to say nothing about this. She actually don't even want to address it. That's why her answers are short. She would actually rather talk about something else. Y'all can't read the room, you can't read the energy? Do you really have people?
I don't think that's what it was. I don't think that's what it is. But yeah, sure.
So I'm giving her opportunity to address each one of these videos. How long you want her to talk about each one of these videos? How long? Her answer is about 30 to 60 seconds.
I feel like my answers are supposed to be concise. I don't know. If I just draw it out hella long, then it doesn't seem like I understand what I'm talking about. There's a quote that, and it's just like the less words you use, the better understanding you have, whatever. I forget what the quote is, but.
Because I'm not emotionally invested in this. I don't have no emotional investment in it. I just know. What? I'm not emotionally invested in this, right? Because I'm not a person that's easily triggered, right? So before I don't allow emotions to sway me one way or another one, right? I'm just trying to get understanding. So I like this whole conversation. This whole conversation is just for a lot of people. It's just a lot of different emotions. I just really don't have no emotions in this, right? So let's go to the next video.
They're like, I don't care. Tax the 80% as long as he's not in there. People are just so okay, though, as long as the guy that they didn't vote for looks bad. Like, I really can't stand y'all sometimes.
Somebody said that she didn't explain why she liked Trump. I don't understand what answer if she doesn't give you an answer that you satisfied with, that's one thing. But with the Trump thing, she answered how she was gonna answer. She didn't answer how she was gonna answer. The fact of the matter is, the answers that she's giving y'all and the things that she's actually saying, you're not cool with it. You want her to talk some more. And she not saying nothing else. She's not saying that. She's not expounding and speaking the way that you want her to speak. You're not accepting what she done already said. And if she ain't saying, what else is it that you want her to say? All you have to do is whatever she done said that she was cool with saying, you take that and you make a judgment off of that. But saying that she didn't say, she did. She gave her answers. You just didn't like them answers. You didn't like them answers. Accept what she said and do with that whatever you will. However you want to perceive the answer she gave you, roll with that. Because she did answer. You just didn't like the answer. So if you want to say why you like Trump,
you're expecting me to answer as some sort of like huge Trump fan, but that's not the case at all. That's what they want me to dick ride for him, but that's not the case at all. I just see the bigger picture, and I see how this is all divisive for a reason. And I see how they threw Kamala in there for no fucking reason, just to throw her in there. I'm just not blind to it. Otherwise, they would have given us a better candidate.
So that's her answer again. That's what she said before, and that's what she's saying again. If you don't like that answer, then do with it what you will. But she telling you her thought process. I can't make her say nothing else. Me being quiet and not saying nothing, and us waiting for her to say something else, we just gonna be on live being silent.
I just don't see, I don't know. I just don't understand how people don't see it, but people are emotional about politics. That's why I wouldn't come on the internet talking about politics. I can lay it out for people in many different ways, but they won't listen. Because politics are a divisive tool created by the patriarchy. Religion is a divisive tool created by the patriarchy. It's doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Somebody say lay it out for them. Cause I'm just gonna be quiet because they think I'm talking too much. They want me to shut the fuck up. So, you can see the comments just as well as I can see them. So when they ask you a question,
actually, let's address this because let's go to that video while we're talking about the patriarchy. People are trying to tell me that I'm wrong, and I know you know more about the patriarchy than I do, I'm sure. But people are saying that the clip that I made talking about white men didn't create patriarchy is wrong because a lot of people stop at patriarchy's creation at colonialism when that is in fact false. It goes all the way back to Mesopotamia if we're talking about patriarchy and the structures that were created with land ownership, marriage, controlling women in their wombs. It did not start with a white man. And that's not me saying that. I'm not even blaming whose color skin started it. I'm saying it was a domino effect around the world. Every different area in the world had men, and once men multiply and they militarize, they create hierarchies and structures, and they control women with them. So it wasn't just one simple answer of white people created it. That's literally wrong. It was just layers and layers and layers of control added on top of each other. So since they want to talk about that, do you have any input on that?
Well, don't let me talk because I think they tired of hearing me talk. I got some stuff to say about it, but I think they don't want me to say nothing. I'm gonna go get
They're not gonna like my crazy answers that I think fucking aliens came here and that's why patriarchy started. But that's for another fucking day. You know, they're not gonna like that either. They think that this is all about race and religion, but to me, I low-key honestly think it's because of fucking aliens. So
women don't like my perspective. Because I've said the same thing. Women don't like the fact that women can sit here and talk about the divine feminine and women created men and women are God and all of that. But they don't want to take no responsibility for birthing all this stuff. You know, when you shift the environment, you shift how people behave and move in the environment. You know, women was behind agriculture, right?
Yeah.
Women were behind agriculture.
Right.
Women were behind birthing a bunch of males.
Right.
Women used males to protect their crops. So women's desire to own land and use the male is what shifted this thing in the patriarchy. Mm-hmm. But women ain't ready for that conversation.
They're not.
They're not ready for that conversation, right? No. So when you talk about decentering men, you know there's a reason why women don't actually decenter men. It's just a talking point. Because these women still have behavioral patterns from the beginning. They always been about men. It was women who put the power in the male's hands to begin with. Women are supporters of the men. That's why they can't stop messing with the men. Women don't want to work. Women want men to do the work. All this started with women. It all started with women. But women don't want to take their ownership of that. Right? So, yes.
Are you saying in a way of there was just women here? Are you saying women started it because there was just women here at one point?
Well, Let's put it like this. The oldest bones known to man is the bones of a female, right? Not a male, right? We know that the Y chromosome is nothing more than a degenerate X chromosome. And we know that the body design of a male has the female blueprint. We know that. That's a fact. Always has been a fact. So we know that in Turner syndrome, you only need one X to produce what appears to be a female. The Y is the determining factor, not really the Y. There's a gene on the Y chromosome that determines whether it's going to be a male or not. If there is a flaw or a mutation on this gene, even with a Y chromosome, the organism can come out as female. So we know that X is the biological base. Female is the biological base for these sexes. Males come from females, not the other way around. Which means that anything that is birthed on this planet starts female first and then shifts to male. At one point, women had the power. They had the power first. What was women doing that shifted the environment so greatly to now it became in the power of men? Women like to play victim with this. Let women tell it. They were sitting there meditating all day and praying to the heavens above and just being righteous and authentic. And then one day, men just came and overthrew them for no reason and subjugated them. That is not what happened. But that's the story that women want to tell themselves.
Yeah.
All right? That's the story that women want to tell themselves. But we know that agriculture was the main catalyst for shifting things into a patriarchal rule. Men are not the creators of agriculture. The women are. The women are. The women was doing the business. The women was taking young lovers, young boys, and mating with them. That's what the women was doing. The women was doing a lot of things that shifted control into the hands of the male.
And we still do.
And they still do. They still do. They still do. See, when you start telling the truth, women think that the truth is men. Now, you can tell that women don't read. This is why they're so mad. This is why they're so mad. But a lot of women like to recommend this book right here, When God Was a Woman. A lot of women like to recommend this book right here. If they get upset, it's clear that they didn't read the book. If women are getting upset with what I just said, it's clear that they did not read this book. Because everything I just said is written in this book. It's written in the book. So, yeah, I agree with you on what you said about patriarchy. Women are the birthers of men. They birthed the men. The boy mom has always been the boy mom. She ain't just started doing that shit. She been doing that shit since the beginning of the time. Women been addicted to people.
Time.
Yeah, they've been doing this. This ain't new. Women want to blame Disney for their behavior. But they was doing this long before Disney even was thought of. They was. But this is not a conversation they want to have. Women just want to talk about men and point the finger. That's what they want to do. Women don't want you to say they got no hand in the world that we see right now. And let's not even talk about aliens. That's another conversation.
Right.
That's another conversation. That's another conversation. Right? So in order to get to the root, you got to start where we at and work backwards, right? In order to get to the root cause of anything, you have to start at where you are and work backwards. So we have to start with the men first, right? Right? We have to start with patriarchy first and the men, because that's where we are. And then you start digging and digging and digging till you get to the root.
Yeah, and that's the root that I know. So.
Yeah, that's the root. That it's inevitable once you actually start to educate yourself, right? And you start to truly dig. Now, watch this. If patriarchy was such a problem and men were so bad, why is it that even when women know about men, they still screw men, they still chase men, and they still beg men to lead and do all this? Why they still do that?
The patriarchy programming.
It ain't patriarchy programming.
I mean, it's in our minds to think that, well, I mean, religion's telling you
like nature.
to be submissive. I mean, nature as well, but then there's also like other layers to it, like religions, right? And then society structures, you know? So it's social conditioning. It's nurture nature as well.
Because biology is far stronger than any of that. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
Let me give you an example. You can train somebody and tell somebody not to do. You can train somebody not to do something all day. You can tell your children, teach them whatever. Tell them don't hang around these people, don't do this, do your work, do this, have this belief and all that. Guess what? Your daughter's still gonna sneak out the house and go be with that boy you told her not to be with. They still gonna do the opposite of what you taught them because their nature is stronger than what you teach them.
Well, I think it's because of, you know, I mean, there's nature as well, but I think for thousands of years we've been like this and there hasn't been change, you know, like there hasn't been deprogramming and awareness of it. So we've just been kind of like going with it and not even like addressing it, right? Like how we kind of are now.
You cannot change the nature of human beings.
Okay.
There is a nature that is installed in human beings that is concrete and independent of any social programming. When you are born with more than 400 biological traits that will show themselves.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So that's nature.
Yeah.
Those genes, that is the program, that is the dominant program that controls human behavior. Mm-hmm. You cannot change that with just an idea. That is permanent.
Right.
So what I'm saying is that female nature has been female nature for centuries, for millennia, for eons. And you're not just going to change that wired in default programming with an idea. What I am telling you is that the nature of a woman is designed to be a pick-me. It is designed to submit and cater to the male. Her biology demands it.
It's not U.S. culture, it's nature of women.
It demands it because at the end of the day, seminal fluid alters the woman's physiology. Mm-hmm. That's a fact.
And then you get to like, when was the first insemination? you know?
But here's the thing. Not only that, when a woman, let me explain something to you. There's two things biologically that's going on. There's two things biologically that's going on. So we know that X is the female chromosome, right? A lot of people don't know nothing about biology. They don't know nothing.
Yeah.
And they think they got an opinion. They don't know nothing. X is the female chromosome. In a condition like Turner syndrome, where there's one X and no other chromosome to combine with it, the child comes out default female. But depending on which parent they got their X from, they show up differently. X chromosomes from the mother are more optimized for boys. I want you to understand this. X chromosomes from mothers are more optimized for boys. Why? Because Y chromosomes do not recombine. Y chromosomes do not challenge the X chromosome from the mother. So X chromosomes from the mother are more optimized for boys. X chromosomes from fathers are more optimized for girls. Why? Because when a male gives an X chromosome, it is absolutely, positively going to be a girl. So his chromosome is more optimized for girls. When a woman is pregnant with a child, the DNA from the child gets into the bloodstream of the mother, and it's called microchimerism. When a woman is pregnant with a male child, the Y chromosomal DNA gets into the mother's system and can lodge itself into her brain. So when a woman is born, has a male child, she is changed dramatically physiologically.
Yeah.
To be more connected to her sons. On top of that, male fetuses are far weaker and more underdeveloped than females, which makes males have to manipulate the mother to care for him and give him more attention. So with these three things, it is almost inevitable that a woman with a boy will turn out to be a boy mom.
Yeah, makes sense biologically.
Right. So women are designed biologically to be pick-me's. It is not natural for a woman to not be a pick-me. It's not natural for a woman to not be a pick-me, because not only if she has a male child, you got these three things working for her. When a woman sleep with a man, she's taking on that man's DNA that's also altering her physiology. So women are biologically controlled by males. Women are biologically and physiologically controlled by males.
Not the other way around.
Not the other way around. It is not natural for a woman to not be a pick-me. That's why you got so many pick-me's out here. It's more rare to see a woman that's fully autonomous and independent and has her own identity for herself. That's a rarity. That's a rarity. That's why you got to do so much convincing to women, because these men have hijacked their physiological system.
Yeah. And then on top of that, what they see out in the world also just kind of makes them believe that that's the route to take without questioning it.
Yeah. So this is why you have so many issues with women. This is why you'll see a woman that'll write a letter telling her son that she'll help him hide a body. This is the reason why you'll see a woman traffic kids and feed them to a son. This is why you will see women who will choose a man over their children and turn a blind eye. This is why. See, there's a reason for everything. Most people don't actually care about the reason. Most people who are listening to this ain't picked up a biology book ever. Most people know more rap lyrics than they know anything educational. A lot of people dropped out of science because they feel like it didn't have no relevance to the career or their life. A lot of people stopped at math with adding and subtracting because it's like, bitch, why you want me to add X and Y? I'm not doing this. All I need to know how to do is count money. That is what the majority of people do.
All by design.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is you are fighting. What you're really fighting out here is environmental shifts, right? You're fighting environmental shifts as well as a hardwired biological program in each sex. That's what you're really fighting. You're not fighting social programming like you think you are. You're fighting environmental influences and hardwired programming that is biological for both sexes.
It's hard to see the truth, you know?
So most women are operating unconsciously. The reason why women don't want the truth is because when you tell them the truth, they really got to address all that stuff because all of their behaviors stem from that biology. Right. So the question that I got for you is, number one, are you bored?
No, I'm actually really interested in this. I'm a listener.
Right.
I like to listen.
Because I asked that because there's some people talking about you bored and don't want to talk and things like that. And sometimes I think people might project because the education that I just said here is so powerful. Instead of them worrying about whether you are,
They're not listening to you.
They not listening to nothing I'm saying. Information that could change their whole life. They worried about whether you bored and not talking. Right? See, listen, I'm an educator. I ain't here to fight nobody. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to help you. And I'm here to help you too. Right? I don't know you. Right? I don't know you. But I'm here to speak words of wisdom. Right? I'm here to have a conversation. And sometimes when you get in front of somebody that's talking and you actually respect what they're saying or you trying to learn from them, that's a lot of times is one of the reasons that you'll be quiet because you actually listening. A lot of people are more concerned with you just talking, whether you saying something or not. They don't even care. They just want you to talk. And they just want me to shut up. But as I'm talking, I'm giving everybody gems, major gems that they can actually take with them to their life. Right? Women can actually do better. Women can actually help their sons. They could help their sons. Right? That's what this is about. And that's what this is about, right? You had every opportunity to explain yourself with what they want to hear. I don't know why they think we're supposed to go on 4 and 5 hours trying to get you to explain to them what you said about Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks, even though you didn't address it twice. You didn't address it twice.
Yeah, and they didn't listen either.
You didn't address that twice. We done talked about Trump. I done gave you every opportunity to say what you're gonna say about Trump. What? Let the conversation flow the way it's gonna flow. Just let the conversation flow how it's gonna flow. Because here's the thing. The one thing that y'all can't understand about me is I accept people for who they show me they are. I'm not here to try to beat people. That's not it. I don't have no preconceived notions. All I'm trying to hear is what you got to say. And then you're going to go from there. What is my opinion? What is my opinion on it? I got two opinions based on what Flawed Villain done told me. Number one, the first opinion is that whole COINTELPRO propaganda, puppets, that whole thing was taken out of context. That whole thing was taken out of context. But with the Trump thing, I think that she honestly cannot explain why she chose Trump. And I do believe that there is an underlying alliance with him, regardless. My opinion can't be changed on that, but that's neither here nor there. I was not convinced otherwise.
That's
But
okay.
but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about it no more.
Yeah.
We're not
If I came on here and said I didn't vote for him, they would tell me I'm a liar, and I explain myself, and they'll still not listen. So,
because I'm not a follower. I don't follow content creators. I'm not the type of person that just jump and I'm aligning with this person. I don't do that. I don't even watch people. So all I'm saying, as a person who is not emotionally invested into this, my perception based on what I have been given with this information. And the two, I totally believe that the first half was taken completely out of context. I agree with you with that. I also agree with you with the patriarchy stuff and how the creation of it. I agree with all that. The one thing that I don't agree with and that I'm not convinced about is this whole Trump thing. And you said what you was gonna say. I heard it. I was unbiased. At the end of the conclusion, I maintain my position there, and it just is what it is. Now we talking about other things, right?
I mean, I don't hate you because you don't agree with me. You know, you have your opinions.
You know, I mean, it just is what it is. In my view, here's the thing. I'm an educator. You can say it's a lazy assessment. At the end of the day, everybody got they point of view, right? It just is what it is. You gotta learn how to decide what you gonna put your energy into and what you ain't. And one thing is, since I'm not following people and I'm not looking for a leader and I'm not looking for somebody to have 100% of my point of view, I don't attach my ego to people. I don't. Some people will say the same thing I'm saying and then throw some shit that's radically different because we not all 100% the same. We not. I don't align with groups. I'm an individual. I'm a complete individual that don't do group identity. So I don't do bipartisan because I know it's bullshit. You can call me a stud or a lesbian or whatever, but I do not align with LGBT. I do not align with groups because I have my own ideology and I have my own positions that most people do not align with. Most groups do not align with. I don't do that. So when I hear people talk, I don't automatically be like, oh yeah, I'm 100% in alignment with her. Oh, now that I hear this, I don't fuck with her no more. No, I already know that's how people are. No two snowflakes are alike. So when it comes to this, all I'm saying is this. There are things that I agree with you on. There are things that I actually see. That first half of what I saw, I see that it was taken out of context. I do see your points in those, and I do agree with them. I've said those same things myself. But with this whole Trump thing, there's really nothing you can say that'll change my opinion on that. Like, I do believe that there may be some underlying, I do believe that there may be some underlying issues that may put you in opposition with a lot of people, right? Because you align with this dude, which means that you may share some shared beliefs with this guy, which may taint your intent and character a bit. But I haven't blended my identity with you, so it don't make me no never mind. It don't make me a difference one way or another. With this, now we just having a conversation on the topics. Patriarchy. We having a conversation on biology. We having a conversation on decentering men. That's what it is, and where you stand on that, right? A lot of people don't want to actually be educated; they want to be entertained, right? So we have to always understand that too, okay? But where are you on this? Where are you on the ideas of biology? Because I've learned that life is a spectrum, and that most people look at things in extremes.
Yes.
Extremes. So for me, I say that it's 80 to 90% biological and 20 or 10 to 20% social conditioning. I believe the nature holds the bulk of a person's behavioral patterns. And that the way people see the world, only 10 to 20% may be nurturing.
Do you believe that our nervous systems kind of adapted though throughout all these years to kind of be the pick-me and look for someone to protect us?
No.
Really?
No. Because, and here's what I'm saying. Because you're saying the question that you ask is more aligned with nurturing versus human nature adapting to environmental changes.
Yeah.
Right. So when you adapt to environmental changes, when the environment changes and your biological system adapts to it, that's not actually a quote unquote social program. That's more nature responding to an environmental or stimulant change.
Right.
So because agriculture is the catalyst to patriarchy, you have to understand that owning property, now that we're owning property and we're not moving around, the body is going to automatically adapt to using males, right? Because this is what made you want to birth more males, right? Once you create agriculture, we already know that males are stronger physiologically, right? They got more testosterone, they got more muscle mass and more bone mass, right? When you shift the environment to now having to farm, you now need to utilize the male's strength for the land. So that environmental shift created a desire in women to birth more males and to use those males as war tools to protect their territory. So is it a social change or is it a environmental change that influences the biology to change?
Well, that's what I'm saying, like over thousands of years. Right. That's what I'm thinking.
But here's the thing. These changes didn't take place over thousands of years, which is the reason why humans are in a state of arrested development. Because it takes thousands and thousands of years, even millions of years, for humans to adapt and evolve, for mutations to take place, for them to adapt to an environment. Environments have been shifting far too drastically and far too quickly for humans to adapt, but their lifespan has been extended. Their lifespans have been extended, but their ability to adapt to these quickly changing environments have not.
Right.
Right? So this didn't take place over thousands of years. It didn't take place over thousands of years. So if you really understand biology, right, you understand that a living organism is going to adapt and respond to stimuli. The change in the environment is the stimulus to create automatic adaptive changes in the organism. So what I'm saying is that in addition to microchimerism, male fragility, and X chromosomal optimization for males, it was inevitable that the power would have shifted into the hands of the male when the environment shifted.
Right.
It's inevitable. It's more biological than it is sociological. So now, once you create property and the need for ownership, what do you do with the male now? The male now is forced to control your reproduction.
Well, yeah, there's also like the need for survival and like kind of like Maslow's hierarchy of survival. So
what I'm saying is there's a chain of events that have taken place to bring us here today.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not just as simple as teaching women, because the women have to understand their biological makeup, because that's what's in the driver's seat. The woman's biological makeup is in the driver's seat, not her consciousness, not her education.
Right. Well, because, we operate kind of in that like reptilian survival mindset. Like we're not actually conscious. We're just unconscious, following our programming.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us.
Mm-hmm. Right. So all I'm saying is that when you start digging into these areas, what you start to realize is that biology is in the driver's seat, and sociological programming is like 10% of the equation. Right?
Yes.
It's really like 10% of the equation. Because no matter how much you try to program people, like let's start. Let me give you an example. Let's use religion. Religion tried to demonize sex, right? Religion said sex was a sin and did everything in its power to brainwash you to control your sex urges. Yet, humans still was committing adultery, still being sexual deviants, still having orgies, while they go to church the very next day after doing some bullshit and preach the good religion.
Yes.
Religion could not brainwash people to stop that behavior. They couldn't. The Pope, the number one child predator, and they still couldn't be brainwashed by religion. You know why? Because the biology in the driver's seat.
Right. The environment, you can't force someone to do something like that with religion when it's just in your biology. You have to understand the biology of it.
You got any more to expound on that?
I'm mostly listening, honestly, because I have, my own opinions about religion and control as well. It's all these control systems that are put on us. So it's kind of like you're fighting your biology with all these control systems as well. So you're kind of like in this like push and pull situation with your own biology and still not understanding why you are like this. But then you keep trying to do all these things to like control these things without understanding them and your own biology and why you are the way you are. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, in order for humans to evolve, you have to know thyself. You have to know thyself. And a part of knowing thyself is knowing how your vessel work. Humans don't know how their body work. Women don't know how their body work. See, that's the reason why women recklessly have sex and think they getting back at a man. See, if women really knew how their body work, women wouldn't think that sleeping with another man to get back at your man for cheating was a win. If women truly knew their own vessel, they would not think that when they mad at a man, that sleeping with another man is getting they lick back. The reason why women think that it's getting they lick back because they don't understand their own body. As a matter of fact, they don't understand the male body either. Women don't understand why they more attached to their sons than their daughters. They just tell themselves, oh, well, the bond between the mother and the son is just strong. It's just like that. They love us more. No, there is a physiological, chemical reason and a survival mechanism why you feel more attached to your son than you do your daughter. The reason that they don't understand this is because they don't understand the vessel that they occupy. So as long as we don't understand this, we're going to circle jerk, right? Never coming to any clarity or solutions to the problem. Never, right?
Well, yeah, because it's just, you're kind of throwing, I don't know, like Band-Aids over the bigger problem. I'm going to be celibate for a year. I'm going to follow this religion, but you're not like actually facing like the truth.
Everybody's saying, let you talk. And I'm letting you talk. I don't understand why. Like, as you see, I let a few seconds go by to allow you to keep talking. And your sentence ended right there. But you still got people saying, let her talk. I'm trying to figure out why y'all think I'm not letting her talk. She keep telling y'all she listening.
It's wild, to say the least, to see this. Because I'm not talking, that means I don't know anything. That's crazy.
So I've been silent here for a good 10 seconds. And you really come to the conclusion you're not letting her talk. So why y'all can't see why you can't see how this conversation is going? Why are you being willfully obtuse? Why you act like you can't see how this conversation is going? You mad because I got more to say? Are you really fucking mad because I actually have more to say? Are you actually upset because I'm having an educated conversation and I actually have depth in biology and all this, and I'm actually saying it? And you think that me saying it is stopping her from talking? Somebody asked, are you pro-Israel?
I don't really know all the nuances of all those things. I'm just anti-war. I've heard both sides and I see how one side is this and one side's that, but I'm just anti-war. No matter what I say.
I'm just trying to figure out why they still saying that I'm stopping you from talking, and I ain't stopping you from talking, man. They swear to God that's what I'm doing, though. They swear to God that's what I'm doing. All because I'm sitting up here just talking like I'm having something to say. So y'all don't want me to say nothing. You don't actually want me to have a conversation about biology and none of this stuff. You think that because I know the things that I'm talking about, I'm actually having a conversation, that because I'm talking, I'm doing too much talking, right? And that I'm totally taking over the conversation. You think
want
that?
us to argue, I think. So I listen. And that means I steal content because I listen. That's funny.
So, right?
Because when you listen to people, you don't have to pitch in. It's called listening to understand, not waiting for my fucking turn to speak. Like, I'm actually listening. I'm not just like trying to interject and throw my 2 cents. I'm listening. It's crazy.
So now that you see this, will you stop telling me to shut the fuck up and let her speak? I'm letting her speak. This is how she wants to communicate. Why y'all asking me, am I pro-Israel? Have y'all not sit up here and heard me say that I'm a humanitarian and I'm for the fair treatment of people? Do you actually think I'm for the shit over there, what's happening to Gaza? Huh? What, like, do you think that? I never even say nothing about this stuff. I didn't vote for neither one of these parties. Somebody asked me that. Princella, are you pro? And we just asked her, was she pro-Israel? She said she against war. Y'all want her to expound. But she said what she said, and she don't have nothing else to say about that. And that's what I'm saying. Y'all think that I'm not letting her talk. She's saying what she wants to say. She's saying what she wants to say and how she wants to say it. All I'm doing is having a conversation with her, right? And this conversation is also allowing y'all to have more perspective on my perspective if you don't know what it is, right? For me, I'm an educator. That's what I do. I educate. I'm not here to fight nobody. I'm not here to debate. I'm here to understand and educate at the same time. That's what I'm here for. I'm telling you my intentions. I'm not here to fight this girl. I'm not here to drag her by her hair so that y'all can have something to talk about. She's saying everything she wants to say. She's saying everything she wants to say. If you want me to stop talking, the live finna be just like this. The Flawed villain already told y'all that she learned a lot from me. She already told y'all that. She watched my material. She told y'all that. So if she's sitting here listening, maybe she's learning something. She done watched a lot of my content. I'm asking her questions. I mean, what else you want to happen? What else you want to happen? Right? How old are you?
I'm 30.
You 30. I'm 39. Right? She's still young. She's still learning. How long you been out the club?
Like 4 months, 5 months.
See? She just got out the club.
Yeah.
She just got out the club, y'all. She just got out the club. She's still learning. She is. She's still learning. She ain't even been out a year. What? How many times you voted? Twice?
Yes.
Come on. Come on, man. So, me, I'm 39. And I done had a deep ass life at 39. I've had a lot of life experiences, so I do have a lot to talk about. I have a lot to share. I have a lot because my education, my knowledge, my experience goes far outside of just decentering me in content, right? It filters into multiple areas of biology. It filters into human behavior, psychology. It filters into sales, marketing, race relations. It filters into a lot of these different areas. So I do have a lot to say, right? When I'm speaking to people. But you, 30 years old, you have experience in the club. You have experience with me. You have some life experience. But not everybody's experiences is so deep, right? You ever been homeless?
No.
You ain't never been homeless? You ever been married?
No.
You have a kid?
No.
A man ever took more than $2,000 from you?
No.
Do y'all hear this? All the questions that I just asked her, I got experience in all that. I done been homeless. I done been on the streets. I done been a stay-at-home mom. I'm married. I got a child. She don't have none of this. What is it that y'all wanting her to delve deep on? Of course. So in comparison to the depth of what I'm talking about, how many books you wrote?
I haven't written anything.
You ain't wrote no books. Did you go to college?
Part of it, yeah.
What did you study?
Psychology.
Okay. Did you graduate?
No, I got my AA and part of my BA, but I didn't finish it because I just kept thinking more about the psychology industry and how it's not for me.
All right. But did you learn? You learned something. It doesn't matter if you graduated or not. Did you learn something?
Oh, absolutely. But I also learned a lot, like firsthand experience, especially in the club, psychology, sociology.
So you got a lot of experience there, and a lot of the things that you talk about, you pull from that experience, right? Right. So if you understand that there is a discrepancy, there is a drastic difference in experience and in depth, then you'll understand a little bit more why she's not talking as much as y'all want her to talk, especially on the topic that we're talking about right now. You could understand why there might be a discrepancy between what we're talking about. She just told you she don't have all that experience, and that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't pretend like I do, so I'm listening.
Right? It's fine. Right? So I'm 39 with a bunch of goddamn experience. I'm 39 with a bunch of motherfucking experience and a bunch of depth because of those experiences, right? So, it's all this is all good, Joe. As you navigate the world, the key is when you elevate and you take your experiences, the experiences you do have, which you have a lot of experience from the club, you learned a lot about that. Don't stop talking about what you actually experienced. And it's okay if you learning more and more history and all of that and able to parallel that. But what I'm going to say is this. Always find your unique, authentic value add and create things from what you do experience. Because that's where, that right there is where people really gon' gravitate to you, right? Right? And at the end of the day, I don't even know why anybody talking about the club when a lot of these women are 304 adjacent. They want to learn everything from hoes. They want to learn everything from motherfuckers that's stripping the club. They be trying to get all their damn information from goddamn sex workers and shit. So if she worked in the club, it's a lot of women that work in the club, okay? And if she doing decent to men content, let me tell you something about people that work in the club. They get to see men for who they really are. They get to hear men for who they really are. And as a person that's been a tomboy my whole life, I done heard a lot of stuff I ain't never had to be in no club. But I know them just as well as a chick that's in there, because guess what? When you always around them, when you work with them, when they figure that you like one of them, they get to talking. That goddamn it, they get to talking, right? So she has a legitimate place to come from, right? She got a legitimate place to come from if she in the club. And if that's where she draw a lot, yeah, she might be listening to other people's content too. That's what they all doing. And if anybody that been following me for a long time, you know good and goddamn well there's content creators out here that can learn from me and sitting up here talking this shit like they came up with it. Like they figured it out on their own. And don't give me no motherfucking credit. You know that shit. That's the way it is. That's the way it goes. So yeah, she listening to other people too. Everybody is.
Well, that'd be ignorant to not listen to other people.
Right. Right? So, all I'm saying is this. At the end of the day, people gonna hate you, they gonna like you, they gonna despise you. And no matter what the fuck, if a person don't like you, ain't nothing you gonna do to make them like you. I give people grace. Whether people think I don't give people grace or not is irrelevant, because I really do. I understand that you're young. I understand why you're being very quiet here. I understand why you might pull from some content creators to add more depth to what you're saying. I understand that. You don't have a lot of experience, a lot of personal experience to draw on. Because if you don't have children, as a woman, if you don't have children, you don't have that experience to draw on.
For sure.
If you ain't never been married.
Allegations. I was never copying anyone's content.
Right. But it's not about copying. It's about pulling, whether you influenced by them, inspired by them, in order to be able to make more depth to your content and what you say. Without a lot of experience, you have to pull from other people, right? You can't solely go off of your own experience. And I can tell you that because as a person that spent 8 years in the military, I've been homeless. I done had niggas take massive amounts of money from me. I had a dude take $40,000 from me. I've been in domestic violence situations. I had a nigga pull a gun on me. I had a dude grab me by my throat and slam me into the shower. I've had men that was jealous of me. I had to have an abortion from a grape in 2016, right? I have been gang raped at the age of 12. See, I got a depth of experience that I can draw on, that I don't have to look at other content creators. But because you do not have a depth of experience to draw on, it makes sense why you might have to add some layers to your message. You have the club thing, but you still need other things to be able to really push your message. My message is based purely on experience, purely on lived realities and education that I've learned in the military, in car sales, from pimps. Like,
Yeah, I don't want to say I don't have experience though. I think I don't want to say I was smart, but I think I've been in my own shitty situations. I just don't need to put all my personal information on the internet, but I've seen a lot and I've been through a lot too.
but here's the thing, I need you to understand. That is what's going to build your authenticity. I need you to understand. You sharing your true personal experiences and knowledge from your experiences is what's going to give you authenticity. Without you doing that, it could create a shaky ground for you. What I'm saying is that I understand why there is a discrepancy between how much you talking. Because everybody keep asking why I'm not letting you talk. But the more you hear how much more depth I have in comparison with you, it make more sense why there is a discrepancy in who's talking more. Okay? So that's all I'm trying to explain. The reality is people want to know who you are. What gives you the right to speak the message you're speaking, right? See, the reason why I was able to create 41 Shades of Men, see, I got the experience. I got the experience and the knowledge that gives me the right to write this book, right? That's the reason why I'm able to talk more, right? And for somebody to say if it doesn't give you the right, let me tell you something. Everything that you experience gives you the right to be able to teach whatever it is that you teach, right? The name of my book is 41 Shades of Men, right? 41 Shades of Men, the pursuit to subdue and use you, right? Everybody is not going to make different decisions for their life. A lot of people going to have experiences in life and keep doing the same old dumb thing over and over again and never learn. That's what they do. But what I'm telling you is that experience, life experience, gives you depth. It gives you volume to your character. It adds volume to your soul and to your words. And so if you really want to grow an authentic audience, people who really fuck with you, no matter what happens, share yourself with them. Because,
yeah, I know whoever unfollows me, that's fine. I have a solid foundation.
And that's what you need to stand on. You need to always stand on that. But here's the thing, the reality is people are getting tired of images. People are tired of images. They want to know, because a lot of y'all, you got to realize a lot of people are struggling. People are hurt. And what a lot of content creators are doing is selling these people a fantasy that allows them to escape. It's escapism. But every time they try to escape, they keep coming back to that real world. So there was a lady that just got unalived. Was it last night? She and her boyfriend got into it, right? On live camera.
Oh,
she made a Facebook post saying that she needed to get away before she lose her life, and letting everybody know that if she died, they need to know what's happening. Now, after that Facebook post, she ends up dead. Okay, she ends up dead. But there was another post that she made before that happened, and the post says, "Y'all be wanting you be wanting other bitches' lives, and you don't realize people really just be only happy on the media. They're only happy in the media." So that was her letting you know that the life that she was selling, whatever she was selling, or whatever other people doing, she letting you know that she was enduring hell behind the scenes. It's so many people that's really enduring hell behind the scenes. They really want to know that people that been through some shit.
Yeah.
They want to know that people that been through some shit, because everybody is selling them an escape route through fantasy.
Right.
And this is why I'm so open with everything that I done been through, because my position does not come from me trying to be popular.
Yeah.
It don't come from me trying to get attention. It comes from me letting you know that I done figured out what the problem is, and I got the solution to send you towards happiness and emotional freedom if you really want it.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a person who has survived all this shit, and it ain't stopped, it ain't changed my character, it ain't changed who I am as a person, it has made me better, and it has given me something that I can give to other people that can help them on their journey. It's the emotional depth. It is the authenticity.
Well, that's what people like me for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I wanted to build this platform on for myself. It wasn't about coming on here pretending to be somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I literally wanted to be authentic. That way I could just put my camera up and just yap and post it and not think about it. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to like question myself. I wanted to just let it come out. So I think,
and just keep doing it. And just keep doing it. If you did it for an authentic reason.
I did, and that's why it's fucking easy.
Yeah, so just keep doing that, because let me tell you, I'm just saying, people gonna fall off, people gonna come on. That's just what happened. They just do that. They just do that. So at the end of the day, just deal with people that deal with you. Because let me tell you, as a person, I done been through people hating me too. Fucking with me today and shitting on my name tomorrow. I done been through it too. But it's people that through all of that still here. They still here and they still support me. And I'm telling you, focus on those people.
Yeah, exactly.
Focus on, listen, let me tell you, everybody talking about CIA. Let me tell you, when I first came out, people was doing live saying that the CIA put me as a plant. They were saying that I was a part of the Illuminati because motherfuckers that had never heard of me, not knowing that when I was on Facebook for like 4 years, 8 years, some crazy number. But because they had just seen me and I shot off and blew up that fast, everybody was sending rumors that I was a goddamn CIA plant.
No, it's because you were authentic. People like authenticity.
Yeah, I don't listen to these people.
I mean, I had a bunch of those comments too, and I just made videos out of it because I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, you know, so from content creator to content creator, this from me to you, from me to you, people gonna talk. People gonna talk. Everybody don't have the same views, right? I'm not emotionally invested into the outcome of this thing, but I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk. And at the end of the day, whoever like you and listen to you, they gonna keep listening to you no matter what the fuck happened. And people who just waiting for a reason to say fuck you, that's all they doing. They sitting around waiting to say something so they can have a reason not to fuck with you. That's all that is. Period. That's all it is. I would say, though, I will say this. Please evaluate your positions and where you really stand in terms of humanity. Because things that are inhumane, I can't align with inhumane acts. I can't align with anything that hurts people, especially kids. Kids, I got a soft spot in my heart for kids.
Absolutely. I feel the same. That's why I don't have kids, because I'm not going to bring a soul here that I can't take care of.
Right. And so a lot of these policies are directly targeting children.
I mean, a lot of them, yes. Even the border thing, though, there's also lots of child trafficking.
Right.
And even people, you know, they try to spread a screenshot about a movie I watched that was about that, and they twisted it, and I was like, oh, so now we don't care about human trafficking. Okay, well, I don't know. Whatever.
Right. So, but hey, look, I totally appreciate you taking out the opportunity to come and do a live with me. I appreciate you responding to my inbox. I wish you the best. Continue to grow. You got a lot to learn. You got a lot more shit to experience in life. And this is what I am gonna tell you, because one of them clips, I'm like, I don't give a damn what happened. Your immediate plan B shouldn't be to look for no dusty mail to take care of you.
It was a fucking joke. Like, people like to just twist things, but at the same time, they also want a fucking sugar daddy. So I don't know why people took that and ran with it.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Say what you mean and mean what you say. And when things are towing the line or tiptoeing around your true intent, be careful not to do that. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Because if you don't, it just ain't gonna be no good thing. And so, as a woman, tap into your creativity, tap into your authenticity to become the best version of yourself that can actually add value to humanity. And please just check what you really align with, and if it's in the best interest of humanity. All right. Do you have any final words to share with us, the audience, me?
No, I think I'm okay.
All right. How do you feel about? Not worrying about the audience. How do you feel about your conversation with me? Are you off put by it? Are you satisfied with it? Like, tell me how you feel about having.
I like this. I enjoyed listening. So I had fun here, aside from the bullshit. So.
Well, do you like how I interacted with you?
Yeah, I do. Also, you're a creator as well, so you have to be a creator on here. I get it.
No, this is not about creation. And see, that's what I want you to.
I'm just saying, like, the times when we paused and we were like talking about, the silence and whatnot. So I get it. I had fun. I'll come on here again.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that I handled you with care and that you felt respected and you didn't feel attacked or anything, because I care about how I handle people, because I'm not doing this to drag you or nothing like that. Right? I just really wanted to hear your point of view and allow you opportunity to address some of these things. Right? So I do wish you the best and keep creating content, right? And just go out there and get as many life experiences as you can to add more and more depth to your soul and find out. A lot of times, I don't know if you are into astrology or anything, but around 30, the age of 30, that's when people really start to go on their journey and really start to figure out how to implement and learn their value add to society, their place in the world. So you're just hitting that. I'm just getting started. Huh?
I'm just getting started.
Yeah. So just continue to do what you're doing. And don't worry about it. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. So in my opinion, if that's the case, just don't. Do what is in what your spirit, your soul, or your mind says to put out there. That's all I got for you.
Yep, that's what I'm gonna keep doing.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and I'll see you around.
Yep. Yeah.
Bye.